Hi family, welcome back to Let's Study, a series here at Arise where we're studying a chapter in the Bible every single day. Today we're going to be in 2 Samuel chapter 16. And as I always tell you guys, go to the website candynicolearise.com and get a copy of your Bible study along to help you dive deeper into the Word. Today mine is labeled at the top, Ziba helps David. It says, when King David had gone a little beyond the summit, Ziba, Mephibosheth's, I always have a hard time with that. Okay, that's Jonathan's son, you guys, the crippled one. All right, servant was right there to meet him. He had a pair of sandaled donkeys loaded with 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisins, 100 bunches of summer fruit, and a clay jar of wine. The king said to Ziba, "Why do you have these?" Ziba answered, "The donkeys are for the king's household to ride. The bread and the summer fruit are for the young men to eat, and the wine is for those who drink, who become exhausted in the wilderness." "Where is your master's grandson?" the king asked. "Why, he's staying in Jerusalem," Ziba replied to the king. "For he said, 'Today the house of Israel will restore my grandfather's kingdom to me.'" The king said to Ziba, "All that belongs to Mephibosheth is now yours." "I bow before you," Ziba said. "May I find favor with you, my lord the king." Let's stop right here. Ziba lie. He a liar. Okay. Mephibosheth is not going against King David, but Ziba is making claims that Mephibosheth is waiting for Saul's kingdom to be restored so he can take up all his stuff, okay? But that is not the case. So Ziba is a liar. He is a pure D liar. He lied to King David. And unfortunately, King David is probably up in his emotions right now because he's going through some things. He got a lot of problems. And so he's like, "Oh, really? Okay, well, everything that belongs to him now belongs to you." If y'all remember, he restored everything back to Mephibosheth, okay? And now Ziba is taking over everything that belongs to Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth ain't doing nothing but minding his business. He not going against the king. He's just not there. After all, he walked with a limp. I mean, maybe there's a good reason why he's not there, okay? Let's continue to read, you guys. So, verse 5, it says, when King David got to Berham, a man belonging to the family of the house of Saul was just coming out. His name was Shmuel, son of Jurah, and he was yelling curses as he approached. He threw stones at David and all of the royal servants, the people, and the warriors of David's right and left. Shmuel said as he cursed, get out, you man of bloodshed, you wicked man. The Lord has paid you back for all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose place you become king, and the Lord has handed the kingdom over to your son Absalom. Look, you are in trouble because you're a man of bloodshed." Then Absai, son of Zuhur, said to the king, "Why should this dead dog curse the Lord the king? Let me go over and remove his head." The king replied, "Son of Zuhur, do we agree on anything? He curses me this way because the Lord told him, 'Curse David.' Therefore, who can say, 'Why did you do that?'" Then David said to Ashiah and all his servants, "Look, my own son, my own flesh and blood, intends to take my life. How much more now this Benjamite? Leave him alone and let him curse me. The Lord has told him to. Perhaps the Lord will see my affliction and restore goodness to me instead of Shimei's son's curses today." So David and his men proceeded along the road as Shimei was going along the ridge of the hill opposite him. As Shimei went, he cursed David, threw stones at him, and kicked up dust. Finally, the king and all the people with him arrived exhausted, so they rested there. Absalom's advisors. Now Absalom and all the Israelites came to Jerusalem. Apathael was also with them. When David's friend Hushai the Archite came to Absalom, Hushai said to Absalom, "Long live the king! Long live the king!" "Is this your loyalty to your friend?" Absalom asked Hushai. "Why didn't you go with your friend?" "Not at all," Hushai answered. "Absalom, I am on the side of the one that the Lord, his people, and all the men of Israel have chosen. I will stay with him. Furthermore, whom will I serve if not his son? As I served in your father's presence, I will also serve in yours." Then Absalom said to Athel, "Give me your advice. What should we do?" Athel replied to Absalom, "Sleep with your father's concubines, whom he left to take care of this palace. When all Israel hears that you have become repulsive to your father, everyone with you will be encouraged." So they pitched a tent for Absalom on the roof, and he slept with his father's concubines in the sight of all of Israel. Now the advice Athon gave in those days was like someone asking about a word from God, such as a regard that both David and Absalom had for Apathal's advice. Woo! In broad daylight. Did y'all remember the prophecy? When Nathan showed up on the scene and he prophesied to David after David had slept with Bathsheba, he said that there will be another king. Okay? Or he said that they would sleep with your wives in broad daylight. They pitched a tent for just the covering of the top. They laid these ladies down in front of everybody. Did y'all catch this? This wow. This wild, y'all. This wild. Okay. I told y'all this word. Okay. So that was his advice to Absalom. With some interesting advice. Go sleep with all your daddy's concubines in broad daylight. I'm sorry. I have to laugh to keep from crying. All right. We're going to be back tomorrow with chapter 17. And I'm sure it's going to get very interesting. Also, let me go ahead and comment on this part too. David basically said, let Shammai go ahead and curse me and throw rocks at me, call me a murderer, basically, because he knew in his heart what he did with Bathsheba's husband. So technically, maybe that was his sentence. He was saying basically like the Lord was dealing with him and the shame and the disgrace that he was facing at the moment. Well, maybe he kind of deserved it and he was just gonna let it ride. Like, don't go kill the man, just let him be. I'm facing more horrible situations than some man I don't know calling me a murderer, throwing rocks at me. My own son trying to take me out, y'all. I ain't worried about that man. Just let him be. He mad. He got his anger problems, whatever. We're going to keep passing through. So they passed through and they wore all the way out by the time they get where they're going, all right? But here's his son over here sleeping with the concubines that he left behind to keep the house clean, basically, on the rooftop. The same place that David was pacing and saw Bathsheba. See you tomorrow for chapter 17. Bye, y'all.